What's up, everybody? On this episode, we're going to introduce you to one of the latest bros who's out there helping answer your questions about cracking the code to cash flow. What's up, everybody? Hope you are well listening to us out there on the podcast or watching from YouTube. It's Jadu Jonah and Robert, everybody. Robert Lee. Robert, we're so glad to have you here as part of the Banking Bros team, man.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be a part of it, man. I'm happy to be a part of a team, a winning team, I would look at.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. All right. So on this episode, what we want to do is take some time. We know we've seen you once or twice before on some of our pieces, as well as our marketing and TikToks and Instagrams and stuff like that. But we wanted to get a better picture and more fuller picture of what you've been doing. So we know you've been on the phones helping some folks out there.
I've definitely been on the
Very good. So tell us about your banking process and catch us up to how you got involved with us and how long you've been doing it and what you know so far.
Yeah. So, just kind of like how Jay was saying here, man, my banking process for myself was getting my policy started, a better understanding how it works. Okay. So I understood the concept of infinite banking, but I didn't understand the verb as far as like the actions behind, actually doing it. Okay. How do I loan? How do I pay myself back? So on and so forth. And these same questions are what I'm dealing with on the phone on a day-to-day basis. Even before people get started, most people want to know, how can I get out of debt? How can I retire? How can I recapture my wealth using cash value? And so most people want to know even more about how infinite banking works when I'm on the phone with them. So I go into a deeper scale of how that works and, just dig up even more information for them on that.
Love it.
Yeah, but so about how long ago did you start your policy? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it's like right at 6 months now, I want to say.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, very nice. And I know you referred a few people even before you started taking some calls for us.
Yeah.
You had referred a few folks over. And so that's awesome. One of the things that you had mentioned was kind of learning hands-on, right?
Yeah.
About how to take loans and repay loans. So I know that you've done that because I think I've helped you even a few times where you're like, I want to put in some more money, how much can I put in and, walk me through that. So that's awesome. And so as of late, what we've got going on is lots and lots of people reaching out to us, hoping that we can help them get started. And of course, we're trying to maintain all of that, take those phone calls, walk you through individually and specifically with your personal situation. And so, of course, we had to enlist some help after our schedules filled right on up.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm always saying to people on the phone, hey, what we do here is going to be custom and complementary to you. Those are the 2 C's that I always say on the phone. And to do that, we're going to need some more manpower. We realize there's a lot of people out there, which I don't think any of us realized, who had heard vague generalities about infinite banking. But they didn't know what you were saying. Well, how do I do it? What's going on? How are these policies built, or who builds them? Do I build them? And so we said, well, to stay custom and stay complementary out there, we just need more great people on the inside.
That's kind of what got me here, man. And that's what I love about the Cash Compound is just being that educational platform first and foremost, even before anything else. And so I think it's great because just going into the calls and when I talk to people, most individuals have either been misinformed or they have they've heard about something that's similar, but it's not how we design our infinite banking policies based upon the original concept. So that's something that a lot of people deal with.
Agreed. Yeah, the infinite banking concept, as we tell people, as described and coined the term through R. Nelson Nash, is not everything you hear out there in the world of the web when it comes to infinite banking. That may mean different products. That may mean different styles. And of course, we have our niche way to explain it. We love the 3-cup setup, and that helps a lot of people from the beginning just understand what's happening from the policy standpoint. How you use it? Infinite, of course. Infinite.
Right.
Yeah.
So on today's episode, what we have found to be actually really beneficial for you guys watching at home. And again, if you're listening to our podcast, maybe in the car or on your Google or Alexa, just know that this podcast is recorded as a video style on YouTube. And of course, we've got our social media channels. So our Instagrams, our TikTok, our YouTube. So we're putting them some YouTube shorts and Facebook and things like that. So wherever you're finding this information, what we found to be very helpful, what we get a lot of feedback on is really just answering questions. And so today we thought two things. We know that Robert's been taking a few of those initial phone calls. We take them as well.
Of course.
But, we want to have a new perspective. So our first question for you, Robert, is the calls that you've been taking. What have you heard? What are people asking? What do people want to know? What are people confused about most?
Everybody wants to know, first and foremost, what's premium, which is great. I'm happy when they ask about it. And it's because a lot of people, like I said, they've been misinformed, or they heard some information that might have deterred them from this, when it's something that is actually very feasible and it should be done by as many people as possible.
Right.
I think personally.
Yeah.
And so everybody has this idea in their head that this has to be for wealthier individuals, or it's something that's out of their league, so to speak. And it's very much not the case. It's infinite, and a whole life insurance policy designed for infinite banking is very much, I would say, affordable.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because I thought about the dollars that I spend with the bank. And when I say spend, I'm thinking about the fact that I'm trying to save these dollars with the bank. I'm not touching them. They're just sitting there, and the bank is using my dollars to make even more dollars. Okay. So they're getting wealthy.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I get no interest, and the price of things that I want to buy
no benefit,
nothing. It's a one-way deal. And the price of everything that I want to buy is steadily going up. So, people want to know, okay, how do I become the bank?
Yep.
Is this too expensive? People want to know, how is it even possible that I get interest? How is it possible that I get uninterrupted compound interest?
Right.
And how can I save and spend at the exact same time using someone else's money? So I get these questions because this is how I phrase it to people when I'm on the phone. I always like to start off with just the major things that I'm looking to get from infinite banking. I'm looking to get interest. I'm looking to get cash that I don't have to wait on. I'm looking to take care of friends, church, family, and charity when I'm no longer here. I'm looking at possibly retirement, right? And then, those are like the four major
the main things that infinite banking lets us do. So let me explain to you how all the things that are a common thread between each of us, how do I use cash today but not lose it, and how can I use it most efficiently? Well, most efficiently is getting those deposit dollars inside a policy. And if you're doing things the way the infinite banking concept actually originally works and was explained to us and was understood, this is not the crazy amount of dollars you probably heard from people who are doing other things.
Exactly.
It's not those amounts. It really is. I love how he said it, Jonah, that we're taking dollars in a lot of people's lives we probably would have been saving anyway.
I like that.
These are the dollars that we're not even talking about taking your entire paycheck or $100,000 every time. What are you normally, if you can't save any money, this is not going to be the thing for you. You're going to have to, but the numbers that you normally might be saving, those are the numbers that'll get you started here.
I like that a lot. Sometimes when I talk to people about banking, the actions itself, and how banks always get money in, loan it out to the people behind you in line or online, or they're calling in the call center, right? They do loans for cars and houses and credit cards and boats and vacations and whatever else they can think of, right? And I tell people about, you all know how those loans work, financing works, but a lot of people think when they just use their cash to make that purchase, that like it doesn't count. I kid you not. I talk to people all the time, and I tell people, no, when you use your cash to buy that thing, your cash was still spent, right? And then therefore you need to actually start saving that cash back up, or else it's gone forever, right? And so the next time you put $100 in your savings account, it's the same as if you paid $100 payment to the bank, because you have to save it. Right. Like you have to do that. So I like how you put it, Robert, the money that I spend with the bank, because it's the same concept.
Yes.
It's
the money that I spend with the bank.
Love it.
Even though a greater concept is kind of too going into exactly what you said, is people are so stuck on a credit score. So it's a consumer credit report. What people have to understand is you're looking at a number on the screen that is something. It's almost, think of like a grade, or how good of a student is this person? How good is this person taking money, loaning it from someone else and paying that back plus interest? That's all you're looking at. You're looking at a score. That's not necessarily a representation of you. And so there's some people who's, maybe more financially savvy, or, they actually do better by their funds, but that's not the representation that's being shown on the other end of the screen in terms of a consumer credit report. So everybody's trying to spend to have credit. Nobody's trying to spend or actually amass wealth to have finances later on down the road, to actually have cash. Right. I think most people nowadays are spending to have credit. They're not spending to have their own funds or to consume,
cash. Right? Only to consume.
It's just strictly consume.
We've got to understand cash flow, and let's get assets that do those things. All right, Jonah, well, let's go into a different section of our podcast today. You got a little something for us?
Yeah, let's give a shout out to our fan follow of the week. And the fan follow is Patrick Lancaster. What's going on, Patrick? So Patrick actually followed us from YouTube.
Love it.
He's one of our YouTube followers. So we're actually very closely approaching 1,000 YouTube.
So as of this
followers.
recording, we're recording this in early spring of 2022. Help us out there. Make sure you're following us and see our long form videos. We got a lot in there, and we love to see more of you on YouTube with us.
Yeah,
thank you, Patrick.
Big shout out to Patrick. Thanks for the follow over there on YouTube. And now I think we're going to jump in to a comment of the week.
We do. Here comes our comment of the week. We've got a comment here from our TikTok account, one of our couple TikTok accounts, and it looks like a Sean Gurdon, maybe. Sean, what's up out there? Here's the thought. I've got my plan and all that set up. I need some advice on utilization and implementation. So this is a great comment out there. It's not a question. Lots of people ask questions about what's going on, but this person, Sean, has already got a policy contract in her hands. And the question is, what do I do now? Well, we have a whole arm for that, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned custom and complimentary for you out there. What we do is part of our team led by Jonah. And there's also another bro we're going to introduce on that team now is we are going to help you implement. That was what Sean was wondering. How do I implement it? So maybe like you here on the phone, Robert, question for you. Are people sometimes trying to get out of debt? They're wondering if we can use this for debt. All right. Investing. All right. People trying to use this money for investing.
Oh, yeah, always.
All right. People trying to save up some money in a better, more efficient way for college for a big purchase.
Yes.
Of course, whatever you want to do, you are in charge. You're the banker. Our job is to help guide, coach, and make sure you hit those goals. So Jonah leads up that implementation team, and we have a whole system. You want to say any more about it?
Yeah. So you should have next steps in your email inbox, honestly. But if you can't find them or they got lost or whatever, just use the links in the description to reach out to us, and we're going to help you with implementation. That is absolutely one of the things we don't want to leave you stranded on. We want to help every single person with implementation. So if you're feeling left, please don't. Please just call.
All right. Appreciate you, Sean. Thank you.
Very cool. Let's jump into a few of the questions and comments that we have from some of our social media channels. We've seen a lot of feedback on that. People are really appreciating that we're answering the questions. So let's jump in and...
Oh, have we? People are saying, oh, I'm glad that they are. We're here for you, people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ask us anything.
So we've got lots in there, of course, all over the board, because just as someone watches our content, they just ask a question from wherever they are in life.
Where they're starting
wherever
from.
they're starting. So I've got a bunch. I've got a few for you while you might be looking for one. So, Joe Off the Rock says, I live in a U.S. territory. Can I start?
All right, good question. So, Joe, the answer is yes, but there are a few stipulations about getting rolling. Okay, so to get a policy in force, which means get it going, that process is a lot longer than most people think. You're not buying anything from us. You're not giving us any money. You have to get that approved through the insurance company. And the insurance company is going to want to have you physically in one of the 50 U.S. states during that approval process time. So that's what you need to know. U.S. citizens can pull this off, no problem. People who are not U.S. citizens, who have business interests in the U.S. or in Canada, we've got some partners there, can get this started. You are going to physically actually need to be in one of the states, not even just the territories, to get it started, actually. So very good question. Lots of people call in, and they're from the islands. We get a lot of people in the island areas who hit us up just because, I don't know, the algorithm lets them see it. I don't know. It's a decent amount of people in Australia, New Zealand, a few in Africa who hit us up because TikTok is everywhere. That's what the internet does for us. But you're going to need to physically land in one of the 50 states to get it started. You can talk us through that or help us let you know what you have to do by giving us a call. We'll make sure you know.
Very cool. I've got another question for you. I'm just pulling it up here. I want to make sure I get this username appropriate.
We're just trying to shout you out, people. We're trying to shout you out. While we do that, Robert, do you have any crazy people on the phone yet?
Yes.
I found it. Okay. He says, I've had a few myself so far. We never call them out by name, but help us understand something maybe that you've heard that was kind of crazy or weird or a story, anything?
Yeah. Honestly, I think one time I've had somebody want to know, could they put life insurance on someone that wasn't a person?
Yep.
So
life insurance.
If I count my dog as a family member, I'm like, no, that's not going to be the same.
Nope. Nope. Okay, that was crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
yep. Life insurance does need to be on a living person.
I've had some. I think that might be the craziest one.
Now you can insure your dog, but these companies that we deal with are not the ones that do that.
Right.
Not that kind of.
So I've got another question for you, Robert. This is coming from a guy. His name is his username anyway is 50 plus wisdom. So I like that. But his question is along the lines of what you just said. His question is, so if you have health issues, you won't be able to get one of these policies, will you?
So yes, you can still have an infinite banking policy. The reason being is because you don't have to be the body. Okay, so life insurance, it needs a body, so a life to match the policy. Nevertheless, you can be an owner of a policy without being the insured body, the individual that the policy is on. So
give us an example. Yeah, give us an example.
An example is if I had children, which I don't. If I had children, though, I could put that on my child in the event that I had maybe some health issues or something that would prevent me or disqualify me from, having that insurance.
Of course, right. And sometimes health issues are not permanent health issues. So you may have something fluctuating in your life, or you have something bad happen to you last year, and maybe you're going to get out of a statute of limitations sooner or later. So if your health changes, that may change your status as well. So appreciate questions like that. Good answer.
I've got a good question for you, Jeremiah. It's a level 3 question.
All right.
It's a little deeper.
All right.
It's from Raider Gabe 64.
All right, Raider
He
Gabe.
says, can you add paid up additions on existing policies?
Yes, if the writer was there in the first place. Okay, so you may have a policy with us, and if you do, then the answer is yes. You may have a policy built from someone else, not us, not the companies we use. There may not be that option. So these are riders. Riders are what you tack on to contracts, and it's a special specification. And that rider for paid up additions, PUA, or extra premium you can deposit in needs to be a part of it. And if it is, sure, you can totally max it out all the way up until it becomes a little too full, and then the IRS is in Uncle Sam's going to come for you. So don't go that far. Don't go that far. But yes, you just need to make sure that there was a rider there in the first place, or a rider can be added.
That's a good answer. I like it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have for you, I think, on this episode. So, Robert Lee, appreciate you being here, my friend.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, I appreciate you helping folks out. Remember, when you give us a call, you're going to be talking to one of us specifically, all right? We are the Banking Bros. We've got a few more faces we want to introduce you to so you understand the people behind what's going on as we crack the code to cash flow, and we help you understand that this is not a product we sell. This is a service we participate in to help you build your wealth. Catch you next time.